Another great weekend of action is coming roaring into your living room in just a moment as we look at all the best highlights from Louisville Motor Speedway stock car racing right here on Channel 21's Let's Go Racing. Hi again, everyone. I'm Scott Douglas and Frank Scott. A great weekend this past weekend, highlighted by the Pronto Auto Parts Derby City 100. Now, we're not going to give away who won it, but boy, it was a doozy.
It sure was. And you know, that's the unique thing about these sportsman division drivers. In order to move up into late model division racing, they got to learn to be smooth. And Friday night, I saw 24 smooth drivers out there because it went 48 laps before we ever saw a caution flag.
Great action there on Friday. Then Saturday, Busch Beer Night had some outstanding action. We'll look at all those highlights. Also this weekend, though, Frank, we were really thrilled to have all the people in from Oldsmobile's district office to present us with the car that's right in front of us, and it is beautiful.
It sure is, Scott. What it is, it's a replica of the Indianapolis 500 pace car. And I'm sure just a very few limited numbers of these cars were ever built. And we just were fortunate enough to receive it from Oldsmobile here at Louisville Motor Speedway.
Our friends at Tri-City Olds kind of really got the ball rolling, and we appreciate the folks at Oldsmobile wanting to come and be involved here at the nation's finest short track. The sticker on this car is $38,000, Frank, in case you want to go down and buy it tomorrow. There were only 50 of them made, and one of them sits right here, and it'll be the official pace car throughout the year.
Can I just wash it? I tell you what, that's a tremendous price tag, but it's a tremendous vehicle. And I tell you what, it's not your father's Oldsmobile, believe me.
Well put. Well, we're going to look at some great action, Frank, and we got a lot to talk about tonight and a lot to look at. And we're just going to talk for just a second now because we'll continue to develop it throughout this half hour. And what I'm talking about is the Granger Select 200 here on Saturday.
I tell you what, it's going to be an action-packed event. It's the second Granger Select 200. The Busch Grand National cars, for the second time in history, have come back into Louisville, Kentucky here at the beautiful Louisville Motor Speedway. A 200-lap contest, and we've got some big names in it.
Indeed. Michael Walter will be here. Tommy Ellis, who in this race really catapulted himself to a championship. Young hotshot Rob Moroso. Kenny Wallace, real up-and-coming star. They'll all be here Saturday in the Granger Select 200. Great tickets are still on sale. They'll be on sale tomorrow and Saturday, so we'll look for you then. But now it's time to go racing with Frank and all the action for Friday and Saturday here on Channel 21.
Greatest stock car racing event is roaring into the Louisville Motor Speedway as the NASCAR Busch Grand National stars battle in the Granger Select 200.
See Michael Waltrip's beautiful post-serials Pontiac Grand Prix in action against the Busch Grand National Series best, like defending champion Tommy Ellis, Rob Moroso, Kenny Wallace, Rick Mast, Jack Ingram, and many more. It's the Granger Select 200 this Saturday night. Gates open at 5, qualifications at 6 at Louisville Motor Speedway.
1 mile west of I-65 on the outer loop.
And Pronto Auto Parts Night got underway last Friday evening at Louisville Motor Speedway with 10-lap heat race events for the Strohs Figure 8 division. The first 10-lap heat race event was made up primarily of the top point getters in the division, and it was won by Danny Blackwell of Okolona, Kentucky, driving the AAA carpet cleaning powerhouse racing chassis Chevrolet. The second heat race was won by Jim Butler of Lebanon Junction, Kentucky, driving a Chevelle Malibu. The third heat race won by Dave Staten, driving a Mercury Cougar, and the fourth heat race was won by Phil Radford, who incidentally is running for Rookie of the Year honors at Louisville Motor Speedway in the Figure 8 division. Also last Friday evening at Louisville Motor Speedway during Pronto Auto Parts Night, there were 6 10-lap heat race events for the Gatorade Rookie Bomber drivers. And these automobiles drivers are just starting out in stock car racing, and they're doing so very inexpensively. We had 6 heat races because we had 97 cars entered. Let's take a look at the winners of those 6 10-lap heat race events. The 6th heat race was won by Bobby Wheatley. The 5th heat race won by John Parrott. In the 4th heat race, the winner was Skip Cahafer for Toots Auto Parts. The 3rd heat race won by Walter Smith. And the 2nd heat race won by Greg Witt for Chumley's Wrecker Service. And we're watching action now from the first heat race, and it was won by Vernon Hayes for Taylor's House of Color in a very close finish over David Washbish. Well, so much for heat race action. Let's move on to the 25-lap feature event for the Stroh's Figure 8 division that you can see each and every Friday evening at Louisville Motor Speedway. The 25-lap contest means 50 times through the intersection. And as they come out of turn number 2 on lap number 1, it's Parkway Village, Kentucky's Tony Anderson leading the field into turns 3 and 4, with Okolona, Kentucky's Timmy Blackwell running at second. Later in the contest, Tony Anderson still the leader, Jim Butler running at second. They'll come into the intersection from your right, and as you can see, Anderson makes contact there with Pat Pierce while trying to slow for the intersection. Butler clearly makes his way through the intersection and into the lead. 9 laps into the contest, and just when you think the Figure 8 division begins to work that hocus pocus at the intersection and avoid each other, it happens. Tony Anderson, while running at second place, is collected by another car, and then it is Tom Burdett as well as John Basham, and Charlie Hart's getting into the melee as well. And for the remaining 5 laps of the contest, Jim Butler was uncontested for the lead in a race that saw 25 green flag laps with no caution flags to slow the field down. Butler hails from Lebanon Junction, Kentucky, and sponsored by Car Builder Sales and Service. Crossing the line at second, a good run for Roger Vincent in the Miss Kitty's Bar, Bryant Auto Sales Racing Chevrolet. Raymond Johnson comes through for 3rd place, and he's sponsored by Marty Crawl Nightclub and Auburndale Auto Parts and Machine. Taking a look now at action from the B feature for the Stroh's Figure 8 division. Drivers not quite in the top 25 in point standings, and a collision there at the intersection for Phil Radford, a driver running for Rookie of the Year honors in car number 40, the white Monte Carlo, wiping out the front end section of that automobile. Going on to collect the win, though, in that race was Dan Moody of Portland, Kentucky, and he's sponsored by Sadler's Auto Parts. Eddie Howlett across the line at second. It was Fred Kalin finishing up at 3rd. Taking a look now at feature event action for the Gatorade Rookie Bomber division. We had 4 feature events, 20 laps each, because we had 97 cars entered in that division last Friday evening. Let's take a look and see who the winners were. The 4th feature was won by Scott Parrish in the Parrish Racing Chevrolet. Mike Mullins collecting the win for Jefferson Special Police in the 3rd feature. The 2nd feature won by Ron Johnson for Tune Up 2000 and Ace Oil Distributing. And taking a look now at the last lap of the 1st feature event, and out front is car number 165, David Washbish, and the Pronto Auto Parts, Louisville Auto Spring Racing Chevrolet, trying to hold off a hard-charging car number 37, Bruce Boyd, as they come out of turn number 4. It's David Washbish, though, that collects his first feature win ever at Louisville Motor Speedway, once again on Pronto Auto Parts night, and we'll take a look at the VIP suite, and you can see the 22 Pronto Auto Part dealers in the air-conditioned comfort up in turn number 1, giving each other the high five and a standing ovation for David Washbish, because one of their own rolled into victory lane last Friday evening. Well, let's take a look at one of the great classics in Kentuckiana stock car racing, the Pronto Auto Parts Derby City 100. As the field comes out of turn number 4, Leon Lewis grabbed the pole position earlier, laying down the fast time. But it's Wade Johnson of Cheveley, Kentucky, taking the lead into turns 1 and 2, with Lewis at 2nd place on the field. Sam Price goes 3rd. At 4th, Todd Robinson, and rounding out the top 5, Vincent Arnold. 24 laps into the contest, and Gary Morris loops his Morris Electric Company Racing Chevrolet in the 4th turn area of the racetrack, and then gave Sam Price quite a moment as he puts the horsepower to the ground, gets the car back up into the turn, and resumes the lineup. Now 25 laps without a caution flag. Nearing the 30-lap mark of the contest, we witness our first lead change as Wade Johnson gets a little loose in turn number 4, and the Ralph's Backhoe Services Racing Chevrolet Camaro of Leon Lewis takes over the lead for the first time. One driver having a great run in the Pronto Auto Parts Derby City 100 is a Rookie of the Year candidate and running at 6th place on the field. It's Vincent Arnold of Brooks, Kentucky in the A1 Engineering and Clutch Rebuilders Buick Regal, moving into turns 3 and 4. But the 100 saw its first caution flag on lap number 48 as Bill Heil and Todd Robinson suddenly locked wheels on the front straightaway, sending the New Albany, Indiana driver Heil into the outside retaining wall up in turn number 1, thus bringing out the first caution flag at lap number 48. As Bill Heil walks dejectedly back towards the pit area, he had a few choice words for Todd Robinson, the other driver he came in contact with, which prompted his early exit from the Pronto Auto Parts Derby City 100, the Sportsman Division's most important race of 1989. The Pronto Auto Parts Derby City 100 got the green flag once again at lap number 63, and Wade Johnson pulled the same move that he did on the start of the race, re-inheriting the lead, moving into turns 1 and 2 by getting a jackrabbit start on the outside of the front row position. Leon Lewis, once the leader of this event, relegated to second on the field, going third Sam Price, at fourth Todd Robinson, and rounding out the top 5, defending sportsman champion David Hine. With 7 laps to go in the contest, the battle for the lead heats up as Sam Price begins to zero in on Wade Johnson, just as the third place running Leon Lewis's car begins to overheat, pulls down to the infield and out of the event. Coming out of turn number 4 to collect the white flag, signaling less than 1 lap to go. It's Wade Johnson still out front, holding off defending Derby City 100 champion Sammy Price down the back straightaway. And his father looking on from the pit area, Buck Johnson, watches his son, Wade Johnson of Shively, Kentucky, win the biggest race of his racing career. Wade is sponsored by Pro Crafters Race Car Shops and Fabrication, Mako Auto Painting and Body Works, Atlas Transmission, and CM Potts Garage. A good run, though, for Sammy Price at second place in the Bachman Chevrolet Parrish Auto Salvage and Jesse Ford Truck Service Company, Kroger's Automotive Monte Carlo. Finishing up at third, Todd Robinson from New Albany, Indiana, in the W.R. Martin Machinist Company, Right Way Grinding Saw and Tool Racing Camaro. And the top 4 finishing cars in this race were all built at Pro Crafters Race Car Shops and Fabrications. A tremendous effort put out by Roger Basham. Congratulations, Wade Johnson, on the Pronto Auto Parts Derby City 100.
Scott Douglas back on Louisville Motor Speedway's Let's Go Racing. We'll be back to Frank Scott in a few moments, but wanted to take a moment to let you meet one of the true stars here at Louisville Motor Speedway, and a guy whose name has been around athletics in the area for quite a while. And that's Chuck Winders, the current point leader in the Winston Bush Late Model Division. And Chuck, obviously last year, you had a great year, but you kind of got a few close. You were close in the NASCAR region. You were close here. This year, from day one and all through the winter, it's been planning to win that championship here, hasn't it?
Right. We sold car from last year. We sold it and built a brand new car. It's a Port City chassis, still running the same Auburndale engines, and still got all my same sponsors from last year.
And obviously having that continuity, and a lot, basically the people who help you are the same, right, aren't they?
Right. I got Todd Hash and Mickey Clyer do a great job for me. Keep the car going, work on it all during the week, and they're here every race day for me.
That's important, and having that continuity year to year, and so you're ready to go from opening day?
Right. We was real close on the setup the opening day here with a brand new car, which I thought was luck, but they had planned on it all along.
You know, you were a fast qualifier throughout the first 2 months of the season, and obviously it run up front. You know, it's tough to keep it up front every week here with all this competition, isn't it?
Well, it's tough. Like I told the guys a couple of weeks ago, we weren't getting any faster. They were catching up with us. So in the meantime, we tried to get some more power out of the car and get it handling just a little bit better.
Chuck, you'll be the first to, and I'll give you the first chance to say it. There are a lot of guys out here who spend a little bit more on their cars and have a little bit more money to work with and a little bit more equipment to work with. How are you able to keep it up front? What's keeping you up front right now?
Well, this is a culmination of 7 years of racing right here. Luckily, we've been able to sell our old cars to somebody and then reinvest that money till they don't have, this is the best equipment that money can buy. We didn't cut any corners on anything. So we're right up there with them now. If we can maintain with the guys that's got the big money sponsors and stuff like that, that's where it'll show at the end.
The NASCAR region has been interesting, and thus far you haven't gone to Whitesville, kind of keeping it here. But if you see your name pop up in those points, does it come to your mind that, hey, maybe I ought to try and see if I can get some of that regional money?
Well, we try to race as much as we can. Right now, we lucked into the early point lead, and you kind of hate to start going around to different racetracks, lose your setup, wear and tear on your engine. We got one engine. We just try to keep everything fresh on it, as fresh as possible, and just stay right here at Louisville Motor Speedway.
In 1988, Chuck won the Fall Series Championship and was also named the division's most popular driver. Got to mean a lot to you. You come out, a lot of fans cheer, and they really know the name and enjoy watching your car race.
Well, of course, it makes anybody feel good, and it makes all my family feel good, and the guys that work on my car. We don't come out here to try to make enemies. We have some racing accidents, but all in all, it's on the up.
Chuck, it's been great thus far. You obviously were very successful throughout high school and all in athletics, and then had a great pro softball career, and now I guess the thing is you want to really be at the top of the racing world here locally.
Well, the name of all the games is competition, and we never have run from it. So right now we're right in the middle of a bunch of it.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Scott.
That's our Winston Bush late model point leader, Chuck Winders.
And the Winston Bush late model division got things rolling last Saturday evening at Louisville Motor Speedway. The 4-lap Diet Coke Trophy Dash for the 4 fastest qualifiers going 4 laps went to Frank Kimmel of Clarksville, Indiana in the Tomcat Motorsports JDC Cable Company Racing Chevrolet. Across the line first in the first 10-lap heat race event, it went to David Cornett of LaGrange, Kentucky in an unsponsored Pontiac Grand Prix. The second heat race went to Keith Storms of Louisville, driving for Stebbins Auto Parts as well as Engine Parts Warehouse and Derby City Core Supply. The third heat race, which we're getting ready to see the finish of now, goes to Preston Ford, collecting one of his first victories of 1989 for Auto Body of Louisville, Coyle Chevrolet, and Shakey's Bar and Lounge. The semi-feature event, a 15-lap contest, also went to Keith Storms, the former Fairgrounds Motor Speedway late model champion. Taking a look now at the Gatorade Mini Stock Division heat race action. The third heat race was won by Don Cooper for Perkins Chrysler Plymouth. The second heat race won by Thad Horning for Chi-Chi's Mexican Restaurants. We're checking out the finish now of the first heat race, made up primarily of the top point getters in this division, and it's Gary Holloway, who incidentally leads the points, driving for Holloway Ready Mix and Aggregates. Don Cooper went on to collect the B feature for the Mini Stock Division for Perkins Chrysler Plymouth. Taking a look now at the Gatorade Oval Bomber division that competes on Saturday evenings at Louisville Motor Speedway. They had 10-lap contests, 6 of those events, and let's take a look at the winners. It was Robbie Vitito for Jeff Harvey Auto Sales, Bill Askew collecting a win for Quality Truck Service Company. It'll be Ron Laisley out of Bullitt County, Kentucky, and the Bullitt Septic Service, Price Automotive Racing Chevrolet collecting the win. Danny Stahl in the third heat race collecting the victory. It'll be Fred Greenwell for Tommy's Body Shop and Bluegrass Mufflers. And the first heat race, which we're watching the finish of now, it's Jerry Payne of Louisville, Kentucky collecting the win in the Robert Hobart Trucking Wrights Auto Parts Racing Chevrolet. Incidentally, that first heat race was made up primarily of the top point getters in the Gatorade Oval Bomber division. Taking a look now at the 30-lap feature event for the Winston Bush late model division, Preston Ford starting inside row number 1, and car number 74, Brian Baum, running for Rookie of the Year honors in this division, take the green flag and move off into turns 1 and 2. It's Preston Ford who gains the early advantage, coming off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Junior Blankenship in car number 35 running at the 3rd spot. Chuck Winders up to 4th, and then rounding out the top 5, Scott Walters as they complete lap number 1. Before the first 10 laps of the event had been completed, Preston Ford built up about a 10 to 12 car length advantage over this threesome of Junior Blankenship in the B&R Speed Shop and Muffler Shop Pontiac Trans Am. Car number 5, Scott Walters, running at 3rd for Roadrunner Video Clubs, and car number 05, Larry Metters, at 4th for the Malcolm Brothers Racing Team Pontiac. But Preston Ford saw the advantage go away when the first yellow flag of the contest came out around the midpoint of the event, with Brian Baum in car number 74 spinning up in the 4th turn area of the racetrack. Now the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and so on back get to close right back in on Preston Ford for a total restart of the event. After the green flag came out, the battle for the lead once again down in turns 3 and 4, and it's car number 35, Junior Blankenship, getting stuck along the outside and dropping back in the lineup. Now Preston Ford the leader with Scott Walters at 2nd, and car number 98, Keith Gardner, up to 3rd. But a second caution flag soon followed for debris on the racetrack, and once again the race had to be restarted. The second restart of the event proved to be the fate of Preston Ford, because Scott Walters got a jackrabbit start around the outside and was able to turn the corner on Preston Ford into turns 1 and 2. And out front is where Scott Walters stayed, and he goes on to collect his first feature win at Louisville Motor Speedway in the Winston Bush Late Model Division 30-lap feature event. Across the line at 2nd, it's Preston Ford and car number 20, the Coyle Chevrolet Auto Body of Louisville, and Shakey's Lounge Racing IROC Z28 Camaro finishing third. It was car number 98, Keith Gardner, in the Barley Ford, by far the best Ford Thunderbird Super Coupe. There's a good look at the winner, car number 5, the Roadrunner Video Club's, Conover's Body Shop, Taylor's House of Color, and Harris Racing IROC Camaro of Scott Walters. Congratulations, Scott. Taking a look now at the A feature for the Gatorade Mini Stock Division, and Scott Greer of Whitesville, Kentucky, trying to hold off the hard-charging 44 of Gary Martin out of Camp Taylor, Kentucky, and he does so successfully. Crossing the line at third, it's Marshall Jaggers of Crescent Hill, Kentucky. And collecting wins in the Gatorade Oval Bomber Division, the C feature won by Steve Fuchs, the B feature won by T.R. White in his white racing Ford, and the A feature, and just seeing the checkered flag come out, for Wayne Spencer for Vinings Auto Service, collecting his first A feature of 1989.
Kentuckiana's greatest stock car racing event is roaring into the Louisville Motor Speedway as the NASCAR Busch Grand National Stars battle in the Granger Select 200.
See Michael Waltrip's beautiful post-serials Pontiac Grand Prix in action against the Busch Grand National Series best, like defending champion Tommy Ellis, Rob Moroso, Kenny Wallace, Rick Mass, Jack Ingram, and many more. It's the Granger Select 200 this Saturday night. Gates open at 5, qualifications at 6 at Louisville Motor Speedway.
1 mile west of I-65 on the outer loop.
Time now for our presentation of the Oscar Mayer Top Dog of the Week Award to honor the top performance of the past weekend at Louisville Motor Speedway. And no doubt about it, this week, the Oscar Mayer Top Dog of the Week Award winner, the number 09 Pro Crafters Camaro of Wade Johnson, taking home the top prize in the Pronto Auto Parts Derby City 100. A major victory for Wade Johnson and a major honor this week as he's named Oscar Mayer Top Dog of the Week, Wade Johnson. Frank, I can't believe how much action you and Carl Blanton put into this half hour. It was a great weekend once again at Louisville Speedway.
Well, the Kentuckiana stock car racing drivers gave us a lot of action to put in, and once again, my congratulations go out to Wade Johnson for that Pronto Auto Parts Derby City 100. And once again, I'd like to thank all the 22 or so Pronto Auto Part dealers for joining us Friday evening to watch this great event, and I'd like to have them back again next year. And special thanks to Doug Washbish along with Dave Braslin.
While we're passing the thanks round, we also want to thank our great friends at Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Bob Doman and all his buddies down there do such a great job for us. And of course to Ken Woods and the people at Tri-City Olds. They were with us, presented us that beautiful new pace car. A lot of people getting involved, and we're excited about having them. And now something to really get excited about this weekend. And before I send them out Granger, remember Friday night racing.
Exactly. The figure 8 division goes in action 50 times through the intersection in a 25-lap feature event, plus all the heat race action. Then you got those unpredictable rookie bombers, and then add to that those fast and furious sportsman division cars, just like Wade Johnson in the bunch. So
that's all coming up tomorrow, and I think, Frank, if I'm not mistaken, some of the Busch guys may be in, the Busch Grand National guys to practice.
It's a possibility to get a glimpse of a few of the Winston Busch drivers. They do get here a day or so early, kind of check the track out, make some measurements, and get their car tuned up a little bit.
Got a prediction for the Granger Select 200 yet?
Yes, I do. I like Tommy Houston because he's related to Dale Earnhardt. He married Dale Earnhardt's sister.
There's a reason. I'm going to pick defending champion Tommy Ellis. I think Tommy knows how to run this kind of racetrack. But I'll tell you, watch Mike Waltrip. This is his first shot back to Kentucky. There are going to be a lot of post people here. Mike wants to put on a good show.
He sure does. And I tell you what, there's nothing better to roll in victory lane here at Louisville Motor Speedway, as you've just seen some of the winners from tonight.
You'll find out who next week's winners are by coming out this weekend and then watching all the action next Thursday night on Channel 21's Let's Go Racing. Till then, I'm Scott Douglas.
And I'm Frank Scott, inviting you to tune in each and every Thursday evening right here on WBNA Channel 21 for the fastest half hour in Kentuckiana. Let's go racing.